Welcome to the Sisterhood of S.W.E.A.T. It's Let It Rip Friday, and I'm here today with guest Jill Hennessy.
Hi, I'm Linda Mitchell, 54-year-old elite obstacle racer, award-winning fitness competitor, gym owner, and author. Welcome to the Sisterhood of S.W.E.A.T podcast, where we will approach the difficult topics of life, interview inspiring guests, and bring empowerment to all. This community is a place where we can be who we are instead of who others want us to be. Let's get started.
A quarter century of probiotic excellence. Essential Formulas Incorporated proudly celebrates 25 years of innovation and leadership in the probiotic industry. Since introducing Dr. Ohhira's Probiotics, the gold standard in full-spectrum probiotics in early 2000, we have remained dedicated to advancing probiotic science through research, education, and cutting-edge product development. Over the years, we have expanded our commitment by introducing groundbreaking products designed to nourish the microbiome, both inside and out, such as Reg Active and Dr. Ohhira's Probiotic Skincare. As we step into our next quarter century, we extend our deepest gratitude to all those who share our vision of probiotic excellence for better human health. Dr. Ohhira's probiotics are available at natural grocers, Sprouts, Whole Foods, and natural health retailers nationwide. Discover the Dr. Ohhira's difference today.
What if you had to rebuild your life from nothing in a world where survival wasn't guaranteed? Today's guest is taking us back to 1874, to the raw, rugged beginnings of a frontier town built on courage, resilience, and connection. You know her from Law and Order and Crossing Jordan. But now she's stepping into a role that represents something deeper: strength, reinvention, and the power of women building something from the ground up. She stars in Hallmark's highly anticipated new series, Hope Valley 1874, the origin story of the beloved world from When Calls the Heart. This is more than a show. It's a story about starting over, finding your people, and rising stronger through every challenge. Let's dive in.
Oh, there's Linda. Wow. Linda, you look so nice. Wow. Okay, we need the mic. Is that on your end? Oh, that's your end. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you now.
Perfect. So great to meet you.
Great to meet you too.
All right. I'm going to shoot straight in with you.
I love we both have our hoodies on too. Very nice. I'm sorry, mine's black. It's kind of boring, but still.
It's a hoodie kind of day. It's kind of rainy.
It really
here.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, is it raining? Okay. We got sun here in New York, but it's a little chilly.
A little chilly.
Yeah.
Well, Jill Hennessy, I am so excited to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having me on your show, Linda.
I mean, you are, I've watched you in many things. You are just such a beautiful actress. And I love the natural way you show up. And I'm excited to dive into your character on Hope Valley. Tell us a little bit about Hattie Quinn.
Wow. Well, I personally love Hattie Quinn. Linda, I think you're going to like Hattie. When I first read the script, I thought, wow, she's pretty no nonsense, but she's funny. She's actually got the most sort of comedic voice in this show. And just reading the script, she kind of cracked me up. And I kind of can relate to how she deals with trauma and pain by suppressing it, number one, but also using a sense of humor to just survive on a day-to-day basis. And what's kind of fun in playing her is that it's always nice to play something that's not obvious as an actor, because she's very outward, very in control, very strong. And yeah, she's desperately trying to hide, I think, how lonely she is, how sad she is, how much grief she's feeling. So it's very, very cool to play that. And then her genuine enjoyment at meeting this character, Rebecca, played by Joy Lenz, who comes into town. And she herself is a widow with a young daughter. And they've traveled for like 4 months across the country to get here. And she's running from her own demons too. And I think Hattie can sense that. So there's this beautiful female relationship there, which is so supportive, so well drawn, and layered. And it was just fun to play that. And then Hattie's got a great relationship with Tom, played by Ben Ayers, who number one is just such a fun actor to work with. He's such a sweetheart. It was actually hard to get through scenes with him because I would just want to smile and laugh all the time. And I just like that they have a great relationship based on respect, based on history. They crack each other up, they tease each other. And it's nice to see that on a show.
What do you think, as a widow running a
Mhm.
trading post, makes this such a powerful representation of strength for women today?
Well, I think you're looking at a time when, this is a fledgling community where there was absolutely nothing. So the only thing holding up communities like this were the connections between people. And here you're seeing a woman who's running a trading post, which everybody depended on. I mean, you were not surviving if you didn't have a good relationship with Hattie in order to get your pickaxe, your pan to pan for gold, your hardtack and beef jerky. And it's just so nice to see a time where people really depended on each other, and you had to get over your conflicts and your disagreements because you were not going to make it to the next day. And so it was nice as an actor even to go to that environment every day. It was a bit of an escape from like being on my cell phone, reading the news, dealing with whatever I was dealing with. It was a beautiful place to live for a while.
You said hardtack. I literally did not know what that was until just the other day.
Why were you talking about hardtack? I'm curious.
Well, okay, inquiring minds, because I was looking at what was going
Yeah.
on in the world, and I was like, could I survive if I needed to, if
Yeah.
somebody blew up the power grid? And I literally looked up, I made a list, and hardtack, that there was a recipe to make hardtack out of white flour, salt,
No.
water,
Salt. Yeah.
and I thought,
Wow.
wow, this is what they lived, upon when times were hard.
100%. That's so funny. You're talking about what would happen if you were off the power grid, which is totally what this was in 1874, man. And I don't know how people did it, but and also the women were wearing the corsets, the bustles, and these long skirts, which were constantly pulling out of the mud. And we were shooting in Vancouver, by the way, and we had that atmospheric river coming through where it was raining every day for months on end. So we were wading through literal pools of mud. A couple of the crew members lost their boots in the mud. It was that deep and sticky. But you really got to hand it up to these people, especially the women and what they were forced to wear. Because I was craving pants after a while. I'm like, wow, I just need a pair of pants, just a pair of pants, please. Because you're holding the skirts and putting the corset on and taking it off.
We know we got to watch 1874 for some reason. We should be watching it now, just in
Is
case.
to prepare ourselves for the
Yeah,
eventual loss of power. Actually,
that's
you know what?
it.
It's a good primer for an emergency situation. You can see how people actually did survive on a day-to-day basis.
That's it.
Good point,
Well,
Linda.
yeah, you were talking about your bond because I'm all about women empowering women with you and Rebecca. Why do you think the stories of women supporting women resonate so deeply right now?
Because I think it's a really realistic depiction of women's relationships that we don't always see depicted in TV and film. Oftentimes in TV and film, you see competition or things that are kind of cliche or stereotyped. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And yet the women I know I, that I love are so supportive, so strong, open with their emotions, um, and yet so generous at the same time. And that's exactly what's depicted here on Hope Valley 1874. You're seeing these people who realize that they have similar pain issues and yet holding each other up, saying, okay, actually, you're reminding me I am feeling this, but you're reminding me it's okay to feel this and that I can still move forward. And you know what? I'm going to help you, you know, fix your boarding house. I'm going to help you. Oh, you got a problem, raising money? Well, okay, I'll sell your baked goods. I will fix your clothing. I will take care of your daughter for you if you need to go off and do something. You're seeing people deal with real world problems, although albeit in 1874, but issues that I could relate to. I mean, I found myself kind of tearing up
Uh,
in a lot of scenes where I didn't expect to, and the performances are so lovely. I got to say, the actors on this are really wonderful. The girl who plays my daughter, Roan Curtis, brought me to tears way too many times, as did Joy.
Oh my gosh, I bet. I can't wait to tune into this. This series is set 36 years before When Calls the Heart. What was it like
Yeah.
stepping into the origin story of such a beloved universe?
That's a good question because I went in being very aware that When Calls the Heart is such a deeply invested fan community called the Hardys. And it's daunting because you really want to serve the fans up something that's delicious, that you can get their arms around and be true to their vision of the show. And from the get go, even before the show aired, I was getting the most warm, supportive messages on social media, like on Instagram, from Hardys who couldn't have been nicer, who made me feel so welcomed. And you know, when you're doing a TV show, that never happens. Every TV show I've been on, you don't get, messages from the fans before the show even airs. So that really that meant a lot to me, and it still does. So I gotta give thanks to the Hardys.
This show is really about rebuilding life from the ground up. Have you
Mm.
ever experienced a moment where you had to completely reinvent yourself?
Wow, reinvent myself. Well, leaving home at 17 and figuring out that I wanted to act. And I left a town called Kitchener-Waterloo, moved to Toronto and stayed at a friend's house and didn't know what I was going to do. I ended up getting and just diving into the unknown is scary. And yet it's also very freeing too, because it's that lack of direction or boundaries that allowed me to, okay, I'll just get a job waiting tables. Hey, there's some guys playing guitar and singing on the street. I'll sing harmony with them. Oh, maybe they'll share their money with me. And that's exactly what happened. Oh, I'll learn how to play guitar and sing songs, and then maybe I'll write my own songs. And that happened too, because I was just jumping into the unknown. So that, yeah, it starting from the ground up can be terrifying, but incredibly fruitful at the same time.
You shared the stage with legends like Bruce Springsteen. How does live storytelling through music compare to storytelling on screen?
That's such a good question. I've always done both simultaneously. When I was on Crossing Jordan, I started writing my first songs and then recording the first album, actually, and the second. So I've always been on a film or TV set working and simultaneously going to the trailer, writing a song. When I had kids, that inspired me to write even more because it reminded me of my own childhood. And then just seeing the beauty of my own kids and some of the stuff they were going through, I would write it down too, because I guess I sort of deal with my own issues by writing. It's a form of therapy. And I found that the more I tell stories that are closer to my heart, the more other people can relate. And I've been doing this series at City Vineyard now, and I'm going to do the final show on Saturday. And people have come up to me to say, "Oh, thank you for telling my story. That same thing happened to me when I was a kid." And it's just been such a gift to get to know people like Max Weinberg from the E Street Band, and then meet Bruce Springsteen, and then work on this fundraiser that we do every year called Light of Day. And Bruce will pop up occasionally. And he popped up this January when I just flown back from Vancouver from shooting Hope Valley 1874. I was in town to do my music show. And then the very next day we did the Light of Day fundraiser. I finished my set and I did one of my songs in a cover of No Surrender by Springsteen. I get off the stage and Springsteen literally walks right past me to get to the stage to perform with the next act, this wonderful rocker named Willie Nile. And Willie's singing a song that I've sung with him before, and there's an empty mic about 15 feet away from me. And I asked the producer, the organizer of the event, I said, "Hey, Tony, there's an empty mic there. Would you mind if I jumped on stage with those guys?" And he said, "Jill, you get your butt on that stage and you sing." And I'm like, "Okay, going out there, man." So I went out, and of course, Bruce is just wailing on his guitar, singing with Willie. I'm doing backup and harmonies. We're just screaming the chorus out, and I was in heaven. And this has happened a couple times at Light of Day. And I've met Bruce a few times at different events, and he's just been a class act.
This has been so amazing to chat with
Okay.
you about your new series,
Oh,
Hope
thank you.
Valley. But I know you got to jump off of here. Everybody tune in to Hallmark tonight to watch Hope Valley with Jill Hennessy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I have to laugh because this conversation took me back to when I was 18, moved away from home, married somebody in the Air Force, and I was living in Minot, North Dakota on the prairie. I watched Little House on the Prairie every week because I could so relate, because I had never been far away from home. We were on a military salary, and then I was soon expecting, and I learned how to rough it because there weren't very many towns close by to us. And I learned how to bake homemade bread, you name it, you guys. That's where I found fitness, was on the prairie, because there was nothing to do. And it was so, goodness, rolling prairie, freezing cold. You had to get out and meet some people and exercise. So if this conversation reminded you of anything, it's that strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. I feel like I got some resilience and some toughness from being plucked out of my regular life, put on the prairie in the middle of nowhere. And whether it's in 1874 or right now in your own life, you have the power to rebuild, to rise, and to create something meaningful from wherever you are. That's what I really learned. Was it's not about going somewhere, it's about making the most of wherever your feet are. Make sure you check out Hope Valley 1874, now streaming on Hallmark, with new episodes every Thursday. And if this episode inspired you, share it with another woman who's stepping into her next chapter, because we are stronger together. And as always, you guys, keep on keeping on. Bye, everyone.
And I hope that all of our listeners have enjoyed this podcast. And if you guys have really enjoyed this, please review us in iTunes, and also share this episode with your friends and your loved ones. Thanks again for listening to the Sisterhood of S.W.E.A.T.